Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 22nd of August for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the broad strands to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. Now, as this week begins, Mercury, the ruler of the sign of Virgo, is forging a tremendous angle to Pluto. So there's a sense that the analysis that Mercury in Virgo provides at the best of times is heightened even more by this combination. Now the Sun on Tuesday also powers into Virgo. So a very Virgoan energy is starting to develop. Some may call this Virgo season. So what is the sign of Virgo about? It's the sixth zodiac sign. It's ruled by Mercury, of course. It is an earth sign, but also it's mutable in terms of its quality. So very much to do with flexing. But it's asking us to use our precision and discrimination to get some of the finer details of our situations working that much more efficiently. And that can be something that can give us a great deal of pleasure. It may not sound very sexy, but actually, if the main parts of our world are running in a well-ordered way, that frees up energy. And of course, the sign of Virgo is about health as well as virtue. So we have an opportunity over the next 5 weeks to really take these areas a lot more seriously, particularly as there is a Virgo new moon on Saturday, which is going to be particularly influential because it's squaring up to the mighty Mars in the sign of Gemini. Also, Mars is forging an exuberant link with Jupiter this week, which can give us a lot more desire to live in the moment. But the clash between Mars and the new moon suggests we shouldn't try too hard to be too perfect, to try to strip out too many parts of our existence which may be a little bit indulgent. It's about finding a nice balance. But also this week, Uranus slams on the brakes, the last of the higher octave planets to do so, and will be in retrograde through to the 22nd of January next year. But there's a T-square later this week between Saturn, Uranus and Venus. And in fact, Venus and Saturn are going to be exactly opposite one another. So any relationship where one partner tends to be quite sacrificing and hardworking, particularly on the domestic front, and the other person tends to be a bit more focused on their own needs, that could cause some frostiness, frosty relations as this week draws to a close. But also on Friday, Mercury moves into the sign of Libra. So whatever happens this week, however much we're trying to reform certain areas of our life, whether it's to do with decluttering, clearing out drawers, recycling stuff that we don't need anymore, perhaps getting a bit fitter, looking at what we're eating and seeing if we can make some improvements, perhaps considering some physical health treatments such as massage or aromatherapy. All that virtue is going to be tested by that T-square that involves Saturn. So when Mercury moves into Libra at the end of this week, important to listen, because I do think a bit more of a critical vibe is going to start to develop as this week draws to a close. Please stay with me for your in-depth forecast, but if you are wanting to ascend above zodiac astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place, I can give you a roadmap that can guide you for the rest of your life. This can help you to understand some of the difficult patterns that may have come up over the years, but also highlight the opportunities that maybe you can embrace a bit tighter. But also with this, you will get a forecast as well, and 30% off with my special offer. Now you can get the rest of this year free, as well as the whole of year 2023 within this forecast, please see the link below. Now, if you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be grateful if you did so now. If you have already, thank you so much. So Aries, your week commencing the 22nd of August forecast is really exciting because of the energy between Mars and Jupiter. When these two are on top form, as they are later this week, Mars in your third house of everyday communications is giving you a sense of urgency to perhaps move around more, be more active, or to use your mind more. But with Jupiter in your sign, you can initiate. So anything to do with ideas, connecting to people, being very persuasive and passionate, really the kind of energy you have when you're absolutely on your best form, that can certainly be turned up to max with that combination. But with Venus, the planet of love and affection, in a very alluring part of your scope, being checked by Saturn later this week, a friendship may cause a little bit of concern. Perhaps a partner, if you have one, feels that you're too directed towards your circle of acquaintances and not focused enough upon them. Or it could be completely the reverse. Your friends may feel that they don't see you enough. Because Uranus and the North Node are in a T-square with Venus and Saturn, that suggests that also money or different values can be a pressure point on all sorts of involvements. And because of the energy of the developing influence of Virgo, things can get a little bit picky and critical. So yes, this will give you an opportunity to be more precise in your approach, but someone may be a little bit more focused on picking out the things that they don't feel you're doing as they want. So just be aware there are huge opportunities to thrust forwards with Mars and Jupiter. Yes, like all of us, you can find the things that you want to sort out, sift through and improve, but also just be aware around relationships. Things could be a little bit tender. So just try to think about where maybe you can be a bit more inclusive or a bit more aware of how those people around you are feeling. And if you can do that, with Mercury moving into your opposite sign, you have an ideal opportunity to reach out and find a greater sense of simpatico and cooperation between you.